jajñe susrusa dharma-siddhaye tasyam jatah pura sudro yad-vrttya tusyate harih padbhyam bhagavato jajñe susrusa dharma-siddhaye tasyam jatah pura sudro yad-vrttya tusyate harih padbhyam bhagavato jajñe susrusa dharma-siddhaye tasyam jatah pura sudro yad-vrttya tusyate harih padbhyam bhagavato jajñe susrusa dharma-siddhaye tasyam jatah pura sudro yad-vrttya tusyate harih padbhyam bhagavato jajñe susrusa dharma-siddhaye tasyam jatah pura sudro yad-vrttya tusyate harih padbhyam bhagavato jajñe susrusa dharma-siddhaye tasyam jatah pura sudro yad-vrttya tusyate harih padbhyam from the legs bhagavatah of the personality of Godhead jajñe became manifested susrusa service dharma occupational duty siddhaye for the matter of tasyam in that jatah being generated pura formerly sudrah the servitors yat-vrttya the occupation by which tusyate becomes satisfied harih the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Purport. Translation. Thereafter, service was manifested from the legs of the Personality of Godhead for the sake of perfecting the religious function. Situated on the legs are the sudras who satisfy the Lord by service. Please repeat this translation. Thereafter, service was manifested from the legs of the Personality of Godhead for the sake of perfecting the religious function. Situated on the legs are the sudras who satisfy the Lord by service. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Service is the real constitutional occupation of all living entities. The living entities are meant to render service to the Lord, and they can attain religious perfection by this service attitude. One cannot attain religious perfection simply by speculating to attain theoretical knowledge. The jñani division of spiritualists go on speculating only to distinguish the soul from matter. But they have no information of the activities of the soul after being liberated by knowledge. It is said that persons who only mentally speculate to know things as they are and who do not engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord are simply wasting their time. It is clearly said here that the principle of service was generated from the legs of the Lord for the sake of perfecting the religious process. But this transcendental service is different from the idea of service in the material world. In the material world, no one wants to be a servant. Everyone wants to be the master, because false mastership is the basic disease of the conditioned soul. The conditioned soul in the material world wants to lord it over others. Illusioned by the external energy of the Lord, he is forced to become a servant of the material world. That is the real position of the conditioned soul. The last nail of the illusory external energy is the conception of becoming one with the Lord. And due to this conception, the illusion soul remains in the bondage of material energy, falsely thinking himself a liberated soul and as good as Narayana. It is actually better to be a Shudra than to be a Brahmana and not develop the service attitude, because that attitude alone satisfies the Lord. Every living being, even if he be a Brahmana by qualification, must take to the transcendental service of the Lord. Both Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam support that this service attitude is the perfection of the living entity. A Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra can perfect his occupational duties only by rendering service unto the Lord. A Brahmana is supposed to know this fact due to his perfection in Vedic wisdom. The other sections are supposed to follow the direction of the Brahmana Vaishnava. One who is a Brahmana by qualification and a Vaishnava by action. That will make the entire society perfect in regard to the order of its social construction. A disordered society cannot satisfy either the members of the society or the Lord. Even if one is not a perfect Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, but takes to the service of the Lord, not caring for the perfection of the social position, he becomes a perfect human being simply by developing the attitude of service to the Supreme Lord. Thus ends the Purport. Om Ajnana-timirandasya jnana-jansalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu-padaya Krishna-prestaya bhutale Srimate Bhakti-vedanta Swami-nipinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya-deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very important purport here, clarifying for us the real proper understanding of what is this varnashrama, varna, the four social divisions of human society, civilized human society, as given in the scriptures and as explained in this particular section of the Bhagavatam. Now this is being described in this chapter of Bhagavatam with reference to how the four social classes were generated at the beginning of creation. So these divisions are not artificial. Divisions of social order in human society are not artificially created by some vested interest. No. They are naturally there at the beginning of creation. Now let us try to understand what is the basis of this division at the beginning of creation. So here it is said, first of all we should understand that there is a creation that is happening by the Supreme Lord. Because before the creation, it was only the Lord who existed and nobody else and nothing else. So the Lord created, Krishna created. Krishna in his form as Vishnu, he creates. So the creation takes place at different stages. And several times I have described this stages of creation. Quickly I will go through. There is the material energy which is lying dormant or inert. The Lord enters that material energy as Mahavishnu, and then the material energy becomes activated. So when the material energy is activated, then the Lord actually injects the living entities into this material energy. Now where are the living entities? They are also lying in a sleeping-like condition inside the body of Mahavishnu from the previous destruction. So these living beings, the spirit souls who are lying in a sleeping-like condition, they are injected into the material energy. And by some development of that material energy, the living entities take birth. They get different types of bodies. Now, simultaneous with the birth of the living entities is the creation of the living place for the living entities. The different universes, and within the universes, the different planets, and all the planets, the land, the water, the trees, the mountains, the rivers, the oceans. So this simultaneous development of the material energy in terms of the living entities getting their bodies and the living place being created, the different places for the living entities being created. This is being described here as the creation of the universal form. So during the process of creation, here it is described how service was manifested from the legs of the personality of Godhead. The form of the Lord, the universal form of the Lord, consisting of the different parts. From each part, different developments take place. So from the legs of the Supreme Personality of Godhead was manifested the service, and this service is meant for perfecting the religious function. Dharma-siddhaye. Dharma is very essential for human society. This dharma distinguishes human beings from animals or the lower creatures. According to the Hitopadesha, there are 4 common activities for animals and humans. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maituna. But there is an extra function which distinguishes humans from animals. That is dharma or religion. So the perfection of the dharma is being described here. Obviously that is for humans. That perfection is possible by service. And that service also is distinguished from ordinary material service. Now, the people who satisfy the Lord by service are situated on the legs of the Lord, and they are called sudras. So, the term sudras has to be carefully understood as a particular division in human society with a particular function for a particular purpose. The purpose is to satisfy the Lord by service, and the function is service itself, and that division is meant for a particular purpose, a particular reason why this division of social order is required. Now in Purport, Prabhupada explains, to understand this, what is this division called Shudra. Service is the real constitutional occupation of all living entities. Constitution means the way we are actually made by our constitution, by our very existence. We are meant to render service. So service cannot be separated from the characteristic of any living being. All living beings are rendering service, cannot be without rendering service. The difference is whether somebody is serving the Supreme Lord or serving illusion under the false understanding that I am the master, I am the Lord. So there are two types of service in this world. One is service of the Supreme Lord by understanding, accepting, and being naturally situated as the servant of the Supreme Lord, which means devotee. Or somebody could be non-devotee, not agree or not accept or not care for service of the Lord. Instead, think that I am the Lord, or I am the master, or I am the controller, I am the enjoyer. This conception, based on which there is compulsory service for all such people by the very illusory energy into accepting service of the illusory energy, service of mind. So everybody is servant in this world. Everybody is servant. There is a very nice incident in the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared, he was born in Navadvip, Nadia district, Mayapur. And he was born in a high-class Brahmin family. And then, as is usual, he studied Sanskrit, Vedas, and logic, jñāya, and he became a very big scholar. And he was running his own school. And Navadvip was famous for so many different scholars, particularly in the Vedic divisions of learning, grammar and logic and such things. So once one very big scholar, Keshava Kashmiri, was visiting different places of learning all over the country, and he had defeated scholars in other places, other centers of learning. final destination of this scholar was Navadvip. He came to challenge the scholars of Navadvip, and he was expecting that he is going to defeat the scholars of Navadvip also, and then he becomes a Digvijay Pandit. Pandit is a scholar. Digvijay Pandit is a scholar who has defeated all other scholars in every direction he has travelled. North, east, west, south, everywhere. North, south, east, west, everywhere is travelled. So this Keshava Kashmiri, after travelling all over India, he has come to Navadvip, the final place in East India, where he is going to challenge the scholars and he has to defeat them. It's like nowadays you have this match. The finals, somebody has reached the finals. And if he wins the finals, he is the world champion. Something like that. So this Keshava Kashmiri has come to Navadvip, and scholars of Navadvip, they knew about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's scholarship. He was a beginner in teaching logic. Still, he was very expert. So they thought that if he is known as Nimai Pandit. His name was Nimai, and since he was a scholar, he's called Nimai Pandit. So if Nimai Pandit, first of all, faces this scholar, Keshava Kashmiri, visiting scholar, and then he engages in this debate, even if he is defeated, there is another chance, because he is after all a beginner. He is not the best scholar in the world. He is not a topmost scholar. Acknowledged as topmost scholar. So, if he is defeated, then there is another chance for a better scholar of Navadvip to defeat Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's not to defeat his Keshava Kashmiri. To accept the challenge. So, the scholars of Navadvip, they thought, let first Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Nimai Pandit meet this Keshava Kashmiri. So Keshava Kashmiri was taking a stroll on the bank of the Ganges, Ganga, and Keshava Kashmiri met him there. Nimai Pandit, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Keshava Kashmiri there. Paid his respects, and then began to speak. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'm a grammar teacher of, I'm running my own school, grammar school. I teach grammar and logic. So, I've heard you are a very great scholar, so my respects to you. Can you compose some verses on the Ganga, glorifying the Ganga? So the scholars said, why not? So, in very, very short time, this very big scholar, 100 verses he composed and recited them very fluently, very fast, very nicely. All 100 verses. So you can imagine his level of scholarship. He has composed 100 verses just being asked in a casual conversation, because composing poetry, that too in Sanskrit, in any language, composing poetry is difficult. There are many rules, and composing Sanskrit poetry is the most difficult, because Sanskrit has got too many rules. Too many rules. So, conforming to all those rules and constructing a poem, one poem, is a very big task. So, this Keshava Kashmiri, he was asked to compose one poem. And how many did he compose? 100. And it's not that he said, give me some time and think about it. No. Just extempore he composed and just recited them. Just like the blowing wind. As he easily as one breathes in air, so easily he just composed the poetry, 100 verses and recited them. And then he looked at Nimai Pandit and said, what do you think of my scholarship? Obviously, Nimai Pandit had to say, very, very impressed. You are really a very, very, very great scholar. No small accomplishment, certainly, by any standards. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued to speak. He said, I am a beginner in teaching grammar, so whatever little I know, I have analyzed one particular verse among the 100 verses you recited. Can I, with your permission, because you are a very great scholar, you are very learned, you are very, very superior to me, with your permission, can I just analyze and tell you what my analysis is? Okay, go ahead. So which verse you want to analyze? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, 64th verse. 64th verse you want to analyze. You recollect which is the 64th verse that I composed and recited. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited that 64th verse. So this scholar was really, really struck with wonder. This boy is just a beginner teacher, and he heard 100 verses which I recited as fast as the blowing wind. And he has memorized this 64th verse he is able to recite. So he said, you seem to have an excellent memory. Yes, you correctly recited the 64th verse. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, and we point out, but whatever little I know, 5 very nice characteristics of this verse, the way it is composed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he pointed out the 5 good qualities of this verse. So Keshava Kashmiri was very happy. Oh, this boy, he knows how to analyze a poem, a poetry. Very good, very good. He was praising Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very good. You have learned nicely. The rest is very good. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, can I point out 5 defects? What? Defects in my poetry? He thought inside. He didn't say that. He thought inside like that. So he was a little disturbed. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, kindly forgive me if I may not offend you. Only with your permission I may point out. So anyway, the scholar thought, let me see what this boy is going to tell us. Defect in my poem, composition. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very humbly pointed out 5 defects also, apart from 5 good points. So the scholar was wonderstruck even more that this boy has found out defect in my composition and all are accurately pointed out. He is right. So how is he able to point out defect in my composition? So the scholar was quite affected, very much affected by being kind of defeated by this beginner in grammar teaching. Nimai, a young boy, about 15, 16 years old, a learned, elderly scholar, Digvijay Pandit, almost a Digvijay Pandit, he is getting defeated. So later on, it was revealed to this scholar that this Nimai Pandit is not an ordinary person. He is a Supreme Lord himself. So then the scholar could understand, yes. He came and surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the purpose for which he came was not to learn and teach and excel in Sanskrit grammar, in the different divisions of the technical divisions of the Vedic knowledge. No. So, in order to actually reveal his mission on the plea of going for doing the shraddha of his father, after his father passed away, he went to Gaya. In Gaya he met his spiritual master, Ishvara Puri, who instructed him to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So according to the instruction of Ishvara Puri, Nimai Pandit came back home and he started chanting Hare Krishna, and he became very much attached, and he continuously, almost continuously, was always chanting Hare Krishna and experiencing different kinds of ecstasies by chanting Hare Krishna. So the family members thought that something has happened to this boy, he has become mad after chanting Hare Krishna, and this madness is very, very scary. Sometimes tears are flowing from his eyes, sometimes he is laughing, sometimes he becomes silent, sometimes there is trembling in his body. So what is all this happening? What kind of mantra is he chanting? They became very concerned, naturally. So when they pointed out, the family members pointed out, other family members, that something is not wrong with you after you started chanting this Hare Krishna. What kind of mantra is this? And who is that guru who has given you this mantra? So he said, there is a guru in Gaya. When I went for my father's shraddha, he gave me this mantra. So don't ask Guru, why all these funny things are happening to you? So he said, okay, I'll go to Gaya and ask my Guru what kind of mantra is given. So he went to his Guru, Ishvara Puri, who had given the Hare Krishna mantra, and asked, what kind of mantra you given? So Ishvara Puri said, my dear child, the symptoms that are visible in your body after you started chanting Hare Krishna are the symptoms of perfectly chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord. They are the symptoms of ecstasy. So, I am blessed because you have so nicely accepted this Hare Krishna mantra, and I advise you to continue chanting the way you have been chanting. And also, you teach others to chant this Hare Krishna mantra. Everyone in your neighborhood, you teach them to chant. Go door to door and make people chant this Hare Krishna mantra. Thereby they may be delivered. So according to the order of the Guru, he came back home. He didn't stop chanting. He continued to chant, and he went on Sankirtan in the street, going to everybody and making them chant. So in that way, he became preacher of Hare Krishna mantra. So, he was actually having a huge following, very, very big following, because his form was very attractive, was very beautiful, very fair complexion. He had beautiful hair. He was dressed very attractively. And his voice was very, very, very sweet, very melodious. Very melodious. And in the street when he would go, he would not only sing Hare Krishna mantra, he would also dance very, very gracefully. And in that way he attracted so many people. And whoever joined his Sankirtan party by singing, after hearing him sing, they also would go into ecstasy simply by participating wholeheartedly in that Sankirtan. They would also become very, very joyful, very pleased in the heart. And this Sankirtana expanded in the town of Navadvip more and more and more and more. So, the Nawab of Bengal, he heard about this new saint who was becoming very, very popular in Navadvip. So, he used to get reports every now and then about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtana. And as he was hearing, he was thinking that this Hindu saint is not an ordinary person. It's not an ordinary person. Because he was thinking, what is his basis of attraction that he's attracting so many followers? There's a description that once when one Muslim magistrate in Navadvip tried to stop this Sankirtan, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gathered over 1 lakh people to protest in a peaceful manner against the ban on Sankirtan by the Muslim magistrate, Qazi, Chand Qazi. So, when the Nawab heard this, he was struck with wonder and he began to consider this Nimai Pandit, he doesn't have any big wealth. His followers or supporters are not paid supporters. And even in exchange for whatever they are doing, what does it give them? Nothing. And he's having so many followers, over 1 lakh followers to just able to gather in a very short notice. So the Nawab began to consider that he's so attractive, he's having so many followers, and they're so devoted to him, so very faithful to him. So then he concluded that this personality, this saintly personality, is not a human being, ordinary human being. He is God Himself. He is Allah. He is God. So, when he was considering like this Nawab, he explained to his confidential associates that you see my position. I am the Nawab of Bengal. I am so powerful. I've got a big army. And so many divisions, lower people, vassal kings. They are paying tribute to me. They are giving me taxes. And they are subordinate to me. So many obedient servants I have. But as far as my wife is concerned, unless I really please her by giving her nice gifts, by satisfying her in so many different ways, she will never care for me. Even though I am so powerful, I am so wealthy, I got so many servants, I got a very nice palace. In spite of that, you see my position. Whereas this Nimai Pandit, whatever his assets, he is not a very rich person. He doesn't give big gifts to his followers. He is not maintaining them by giving them anything at all. And they are so devoted to him. They are so faithful to him. They so nicely follow him. So, definitely, such a position is possible to be had only by God. So, my point is, service to God and service of the illusory energy under the false conception that I am the Lord or I am the Master are two different things totally. And here it is said, Shudras, their function is service, but that service is not for earning money, for maintaining the livelihood, for some sense enjoyment. No. This service is meant actually to satisfy the Lord. To satisfy God. And the scriptures say, even a Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya, he has other kinds of duties or other kinds of work that they may do in society. But still, whatever work they do, the ultimate aim is how to satisfy the Supreme Lord by their service, by their work. This is explained by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Sve sve karmani abhirataha samsiddhim lavate naraha. By engaging in a particular occupational work, every person can achieve ultimate perfection of life. And that perfection is achieved by satisfaction of the Supreme Lord through the work they are doing. By satisfying the Supreme Lord through the work they are doing. This is the real purpose of the divisions. Of course, the necessity of these four divisions in the society for the social upkeep, that is there. Just like in the body, you require the brain, you require the arms, you require the belly, and you require the legs. But all the four, even though they have different functions, all the four are ultimately meant for serving the necessities of the needs of the body. As far as the needs of the body are concerned, all the four parts are working cooperatively. The brain is always directing. Just like if somebody has to, eat, which is very, very basic to nourish his body. So then the brain is directing the hands, let's say, to pick some food putting in the mouth. Then that food goes to the belly. In the belly it is digested. The legs are used for walking. So all the parts are cooperating for this body, upkeep of the body. Similarly, all the four social orders have to cooperate for the upkeep of the society. But ultimately, the cooperation has to be for service of the Supreme Lord, which is the real goal, ultimate goal of human society. Service of the Supreme Lord. And service in such a way that the Lord is satisfied. The Lord is satisfied by such service. So, this point that if somebody thinks that I am the master, I don't want to be servant, or I am not a servant, or I don't want to be servant, then they are under illusion. Because with a false conception of being the master, they are serving the illusory energy of the Lord. Serving you. So everybody is servant. Everybody is servant. If they don't agree to serve the Lord, let us serve somebody else. Just like this Nawab, he is servant of his wife. Even though he is the Lord of the entire state and he's got so many servants under him. Practically the whole state, everybody is subordinate to him. But one exception, that's his wife. She will not listen to him. So he is her servant. So like this, everybody is servant. If you analyze very carefully, everybody is servant. Even the so-called masters